Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next we explore how AI is revolutionizing the medical tourism industry. Please welcome to the stage Lorena Puica, CEO and founder of syd.life, Mamoun Hmidan, Chief Business Officer at Wego, and your moderator, Nido, Abdo, Business Growth Strategist.
My name is Nido Abdo, and it's my pleasure to present this exciting panel on, hello, good to see you, good to see you, on the future of AI in medical value travel. So this is an interesting topic because it's basically in the intersection of three key industries. We have technology, we have travel, and we have medical. And so what we want to know today is obviously how this is going to innovate our future when it comes to medical travel. And we have, as we said, two incredible leaders driving innovation in this space, Ms. Lorena Puica and Mr. Mamoun Hmidan. Mr. Rizwan, unfortunately, could not make it today. So since we have a short time, why don't we just dive in? So let's start with Lorena. Now, this space is projected to grow to 132 billion in the next 7 years, which is at a growth rate of 20%, 21% per year. So the first question, Lorena, is how can AI enhance the end-to-end journey of the medical traveler from choosing the right destination to the post-treatment follow-up?
Super. So you started with the small questions. Thank you.
Happily.
So, as you eloquently put it, we are now at the intersection of the trends in medicine, travel, as well as AI. What I see as the most powerful example in the space is enabling to connect for the individual the entire journey from pre-decision as to what intervention they want to do to the whole journey to having the intervention and thereafter. The power of AI in this space is really about having all of the different data sets, which of course we've heard today, data is key. However, after spending a decade in investment banking and working with a ton of data, it's not only about the data, it's about what the data is going to tell us and what are those insights that we can provide to the patient from precondition all the way to end of treatment and aftercare. So in a nutshell, I really see the future in this space in creating an AI agent companion that is able to understand the person long before they decide to have the intervention, is able to guide them through the learning, education, knowledge, advice, information, pre-intervention, guide them through the intervention and then also thereafter, such that you have a full circle of that journey and you reduce the risks and the complications after the intervention, but you also create value not only in the intervention, but across the entire life journey of the individual pre, during, and post.
You've used one of my favorite words, data, and we have Mamoun, who, as we know, Wego has been the leader in travel analytics. We want to ask you, how does Wego leverage AI to analyze travel patterns and preferences, and how does this actually benefit the medical tourism industry?
Well, I think in general, in the travel industry, we sit on tons of data. I must say, up until a few years ago, none of the travel companies, especially the online ones like ourselves, did really pay attention to the details of data. We were just interested of finding out, where are you traveling from and to where, what sort of payment method do you use, what's your preference, kind of travel trends. But a few years ago, we started to see actually more demand coming on why do you travel and what sort of a trip you are designing. I think, we like to call ourselves one of the pioneers where basically we really created all of those data sets in place. We ask our users during the booking process, and once the booking is done, why are you traveling for? What is it about? Is it leisure? Is it business? Is it medical? And if there is anything we can feed into the machine, basically, that will help us sort order the results of the search of any travel O&Ds or like origin and destinations we get by search from users, we apply that straight away. I must say it's early stage yet. When it comes to medical specifically, in some case, we're a bit lucky because we deal a lot with tourism boards and ministers of tourism around the world, where they try to give us their medical tourism products, basically, that we help them promoting and putting in place. I'm talking about places like Turkey, Jordan, UAE currently. Dubai is definitely, obviously, one of the destinations very interesting. And we've got some of the Eastern European countries like Romania and Czech Republic, who's got like a specific segment to target where we join hands and we help. So we collect all of this, interest and data in place. We store it today. We try to segment it in a proper way, and then outreach to the consumers and design our product feed to be able to give the right exact results on the medical requirements, that medical tourism requirements that a passenger or a traveler would be desiring.
Okay, we want to stay with you, Mamoun. I know you mentioned we're still in the early stages on this. Looking into the future, what is the long-term vision for AI in medical travel, and how does Wego plan to stay at the forefront of innovation in this space?
See, I think since the rise of ChatGPT, like 18 months ago, right, every travel company just thought of, okay, we're gonna do a trip planning sort of functionality within the product, right? Voice search sort of stuff. We all tried that. And that's why I say it's a very early stage. The more we went into it, the more harder it gets. And now I think we all go back into some sort of basic search behavior. Okay, build me an itinerary. It's me and my family. This is the age of the kids. This is what we want to do. Give me a best choice if I want to travel, for example, to Dubai. And let me know what can I do in a 4 days pattern. And give me all the options for flights and hotels and extra. So this is achievable today. Now, the further more we go, the more complicated it gets. But I think the way I see it, with all the LLMs being built at the moment, with all the tools that are being put in place, I think 5 years down the road, the normal search pattern we see today on travel is going to be really old-fashioned, and it will be more around trip building and itinerary creation and straight into the booking funnel straight away. And that's where I think the medical side has its own clear space within all the travel behavior that we get from consumers today.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Let's get back to you, Lorena. Could you please share specific use cases of how syd.life is leveraging AI to provide personalized healthcare solution for medical tourists?
Right. So probably a few examples is the work we've done with the NHS. NHS is the largest healthcare system in the UK. And the interesting scenario there is that we've worked with over 10,000 staff and doctors to actually build a digital twin of the person. I think the time is now, as we have heard also from His Excellency, the CEO of the Dubai Future Foundation. If we put ourselves in 2071, everyone will have a virtual companion that understands you well enough. Now, the challenge that we've solved for, as you've mentioned, is to actually create a specialized LLM. So create a specialized LLM that leverages all of the research, 1.2 million research papers in the preventive health space. And it's purely learning from that space, which means that the hallucinations have been reduced to zero. The accuracy rate is 98% versus 52% with ChatGPT. So to create a knowledge graph such that the digital twin of every person is learning from solid data. And so what we've done in the NHS is to create a digital twin for every single person that guided them to reduce stress, anxiety, depression by 5 times higher than if they would have seen a therapist in a period of 3 months. So I think the most powerful use case for AI is really personalization, understanding the person that is in front of you through the lens of data, the right data, because a lot of challenges today are around too much data, not clean data. and to clean the data and have predictive data that is enabling the recommendation for the next best action for every single person at low cost is probably the most powerful use case that I can mention now. Maybe a quick second one is Japan. I know that there is a deep affection between UAE and Japan, and I can understand why. They are facing both aging population issues, mental health issues, and they are very tech savvy. They are very keen to embrace technology. But again, in that context, the translation of research into action wasn't present. So when we gave to Japanese people SID, we have seen, this is very impressive, we have seen 96% engagement. I mean, in most healthcare apps, you see a 3 to 5% engagement rate. We have seen, even after 6 months, 98% engagement with the digital solution because they find themselves in that, speaking the same language, having the same type of habits, and having a 24/7 guide.
As we both know, or as we all know, that UAE is always at the forefront of innovation. How do you think UAE is adopting this medical tourism when it comes to AI?
Oh, I think I've recently moved from London to Abu Dhabi because of that, because I've seen some of the biggest leaps forward in terms of adopting AI in a smart, proactive way. So not only in the healthcare space, but we see that also in organizations. Anywhere where you have people, the better you understand people, the more you're able to help them. So I've seen that both here in the Dubai Future Foundation. I've been part of the leadership program that finished last week. So there's a proactive intention, commitment, and resources to implement AI in healthcare, in organizations, in productivity, engagement, anything that is human-linked.
Same question to you.
Well, I think we need to remember that UAE generally is one of the very pioneers countries when it comes to digitalizing most of the government sector years ago. And that left the country with tons of data and information of what each of basically us and visitors and people living here kind of need and require. And I think, I must say, they went, when it comes to healthcare, before anyone, and benefited a lot from the COVID pandemic at that time, where basically they got fresh data of pretty much everybody in the country. And based that, they're really working super hard, and we're always receiving those newsletters and updates when it comes to how they want to create that medical tourism product and how they wanna push it. They invested a lot on the healthcare sector here, being whether in the Dubai Healthcare City or all the infrastructure being built in Abu Dhabi. And I think there is lots of progress happening at the moment. And when you look at AI, you're talking about a city which is talking about air taxis in like few months from now, and talking about like whatever possible to adopt the latest technology and everything. I think medical sector in general and healthcare tourism is going to be at the few core focus areas for them, definitely.
Last question again for both. I know this was not in the list, but AI in general, I mean, technology in itself is a fast-moving industry, whether it's iPhones or computers. But I feel AI technology in itself is moving at a much faster pace than other things that we've experienced. Is this a pro, or can this be a con in this sector, in this travel medical industry?
Well, I think what we've seen over the previous industrial revolutions, it's been an acceleration of change when it comes to new technologies. And specifically in healthcare, I mean, I spent a decade in investment banking, and finance has also been quite reluctant to embrace AI because it's a question of people's money. You have it or you lose it. And I think healthcare has been even more cautious. That is why we're just starting to see now over the past couple of years, and COVID was indeed an accelerator, we see that the technology is robust enough to be applied to healthcare. And we see also in healthcare, it's still cautious, and the development of these specialized LLMs are really a must when it comes to applying AI in healthcare. Whether this is the good, the bad, or the ugly, I think with any tool, it's a question of how you choose to apply it. If you think of a knife, you can cut bread and feed people, or you can do harm. So I think AI, it takes our wisdom and our initiative to understand where it can have the biggest benefit and the biggest impact and minimize its risks.
Absolutely.
Well, I second everything my colleague mentioned, but I would say I'll look at this from the B2C, since we are in the B2C side of things. I think there is no good or bad here. Every step, everything we will see in front of consumers is going to be a good learning, whether it works or not. But I would assume, I've been a couple of years of seeing very funny implementations of AI tools and technologies into simplifying some of the stuff, and most of them will not work, as we've seen with every other big technology came into the industry in the past. But then we'll get a very good clean cut of all of that, and you'll get a fantastic product and use cases quite soon. I think the fact of the depth and capabilities of the tools available with the AI today, I think we will get into that nice niche done products quite sooner than the previous year. So yeah, but definitely throughout the way we will see some sort of half done, half cooked products, I would say.
Yeah.
And claim to be like wow, but it's not going to function the way we all thought that's going to be.
Well, there you have it. We've heard how AI is enhancing patient experience, creating personal journeys, and innovating the entire healthcare industry. So we want to thank our esteemed panelists for your time, and thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.